And this is the report on the abuse of a school teacher in New Jersey. This is the 74-page arbitrary report where the hearing was held, where she was fired from 2 schools within 5 days for abusing children. I'm gonna go through them pretty slowly. That way, in case you want a chance to copy any of them, read any of them, or anything else. Okay. I'm sure you should be able to read all this. She is the child abuser in our community, like I said. But she brags, oh, but I still maintain my teacher's license. Why would any school district whatsoever let her keep a teacher's license after doing this to children? Just read it. Just read it. Read it. Read it. That's all I can tell you. Read it. Please read it. This is factual. This is not slander. This is all true. There's 74 pages. There's going to be a lot of it, you guys. So I just want you to see. This has got all the information. And this is the receipt that proves what she does to children. Now, I've also got receipts that I plan to put up showing her drunken behavior on panels on YouTube. And you can probably understand why she would go to a school and harm children. Because if she's been up drinking all night on panels on YouTube, she's most likely still drunk. This is my personal opinion, but she's most likely still drunk when she gets to the school. So when she gets to the school and the child pisses her off, if you've ever heard her screaming on a panel, you know what I'm talking about. You will hear that, because that will be coming in future documentation. Like I said, these are the pages. There's going to be 74 of them. So get ready. The whole freaking trial, the arbitrary, is on here. The witnesses, the teachers that witnessed against her, everything is listed. Everything is listed. The short version's already been posted. Nobody seemed to pay any attention to it, so we're going to post the long version, the entire thing. I'm giving a few seconds between each page so that you can have time to read it or screenshot it or whatever you would like to do with it. It's public information. This was posted in a public newspaper, in public, numerous newspapers actually. So none of this is private information. Any private information, the school themselves hid it and kept it from the records. Like the child's name, the aunt that was raising the child, their name, all this stuff was held private. So none of this stuff is in here. This is just to prove to you what disgusting things this big ox done to these children, okay? You know. And then mysteriously, 15 seconds of the video, they had video of it, and show it, the video part to where, it says it in here, you'll read it, where they couldn't figure out how she got on top of the child. The video, that section of the video was missing. You know, she's quite the little video editor on YouTube. You figure that out yourself. She seems to make a lot of little videos. But nobody seems to want to read the facts, you know, about what people do, you know. They want to make up stuff, you know, about me and my family and what they think I'm doing or what they think I'm not doing. They need to come to me with some facts, okay? I'm coming to you people with the facts and the proof. Right here, okay? The facts and the proof. Right here. 74 pages of it. 74 pages. And we're only up to page 16, by the way, so it's going to take a little while. And I hope you all read this, and read this very carefully, and decide whether or not you want someone like this to even be around you or calling you. Because what she does is she calls you to try to get your personal information from you, so she's got something to hold over your head later on. But you know, she doesn't think anybody else should do the same thing, right? Well, all I'm doing is showing you facts about an individual that's on YouTube that has harmed special needs children. Now keep in mind, this little child was small for his size. Little child. You know, he was, they said he was smaller than what he should have been for his age. He was a second grader. This was the second child, by the way. The first one, the first time she was fired from that school district was because she was screaming and not tending the children like she was supposed to. She was screaming at them, you know, like an idiot. That's what she does on YouTube too. And this is just going to be very interesting. Like I said, there's nothing illegal about posting this. It's public information. I would give you the link, but people don't like clicking on links, so I'm sharing it just like it is. This is just exactly like it is. This is the facts. This is the facts. Please read this stuff very carefully. And this one's very important too. Down here, let's see. Paragraph 6 is really interesting. Paragraph 5 is really interesting too. She says she didn't harm the child. But as you can see in these paragraphs, she did. She did. And she lied. She did, and she lied about it. What I can't understand is how she can still even maintain a teacher's license. Not just once, but twice. Twice. In 5 days, twice. Fired from 2 different schools in the same district, twice. Because it was not turned over to the police. That's why. Because the school didn't want to be drung into something, most likely, that they, they didn't want, the school didn't want themselves to be made look bad in their community. And I don't blame them. You know, that's why they didn't take it to the police and have her prosecuted. They should have, but they didn't. See, it says Miss Godinez just sat there and watched those kids fight. Now, ain't that something? She's paragraph 21, by the way. She sat there and watched them fight. And there's a phone nearby that if she needs help with an unruly child, she's supposed to get this phone and pick it up and dial the principal, and then they'll either bring security or they'll get the parents of the child down there. They'll do something to be able to get the child under control. See? But she never done anything that she was supposed to do as required by a teacher in that school system. Not one thing. Just read it. Read it all, y'all. Read every bit of it. And if you want to go look it up, just Google the name. Just Google the name. Put New Jersey school teacher, and you'll see all kind of articles coming up about it. It's in all kinds of newspapers. This is fact. Nothing made up, people. Not a thing made up. Wow, we're only on page 23. Here, the findings. Here's findings and discussion. Coming up next, you guys. I'm going to get, like I said, I'm going to give you a few seconds between each page so that you can have a chance to read most of it, or you can scroll back if it goes by too fast for you and you want to read more of it. I'm sure you'll be able to read enough of the facts in here. Facts, people. These are facts. This ain't nothing made up. This ain't nothing typed up. This ain't nothing exaggerated. You can call the school and verify it. You can call those schools and verify it. You can call those teachers. Verify it through those teachers that testified against her. And this is the kind of people that we have that are supposed to protect our children while they're in school, y'all. This is the type of people that are protecting our poor children while they are in a school system, a school district. I post articles all the time about teachers abusing students, you know, small students, little children, students. And let's see here. We're on page 29. And it says, Mrs. G is laying back on top of this child who is still face down, and he's trying to push up with his arms. She has her legs straight and feet crossed, wrapped around this little child. Her left hand is appearing to be holding his leg. Her right upper arm appears to be holding him down. The right hand is on the gym floor, palms facing downward. Anyway, you just read this stuff. It's horrible to listen to the torture that she put this child through. I mean, can you not read the torture that she put this child through? He almost made a brief escape by crawling out from under her on his stomach. However, she responds by rolling over his lower half with her back to keep him pinned down. His face is toward the bleachers. Two students are observing the interaction. Can you imagine the trauma she's putting these other children through, watching what she's doing to this little child, the other children. These are all special needs children, you guys. And they're watching the torture that she's putting upon this child. And she was not allowing him to escape. Now, if you'll notice down here, it's showing where the skip is in the video surveillance, which shows how she actually got on top of the little child. But where the video continued, then she was standing, crouching over the child. You know, like I said, now you know if you've ever seen any of her video work, she is quite the little video editor. I can't say as to how one would even get into the video surveillance room of a school, you know, and edit video, but for some reason it was just gone. 15 seconds, I believe, of that video was just gone. Gone, gone, gone. Disappeared. This is going to be a long one here, I'm going to assume. Very long page. It's got a lot of interesting information in here. All I can say is I definitely would not want this person to be any kind of a school teacher or supervisor or anything over any of my children or grandchildren or great-grandchildren or nieces, nephews, you know, anybody. I just wouldn't want that. I wouldn't tolerate it. Oh, and it says down here is the child sat on a bleacher seat. She aggressively approached him. Both of her hands are on the back of her hips, and she's leaning in closely in toward him and speaking to him in an animated fashion. Now, what is that about? And it said it showed in the video that he was putting his head down when she was addressing him with her hands on her hips. And she continued to address him in an aggressive manner. That's bad, y'all. I'm just sorry, but this is horrible. It's really, really horrible. This is bad, y'all. And then He says the child is viewed with his back toward the surveillance cameras, rubbing his eyes with his hands as she approaches him once again. And the poor baby was still rubbing his eyes, probably crying, rubbing them with his fist. And she approached him and made a sweeping motion with her arm toward the student dismissal line. Oh, she was going to hurt him if she could, because she knew she was in deep doo at that point. Yep, y'all, I'm telling you, y'all should read this. I would read it, and I would read it very carefully, and I'd read it very good. Because if you can't read it clear here, go look up the newspaper article. It's online. All you got to do is Google. You don't have to worry, take a chance on clipping it, thinking somebody's put something in a bug or something in it. Don't worry about that. Just go Google the name and Google in the New Jersey school, and you'll find it. It'll pop right on up to you. It will pop right on up. I'm not even near done. This is only to page 34, people. It makes me just want to cry. It makes me just want to sit here and bawl like a baby, reading how horrible a school teacher can be to a baby. To a baby. We're going to go on down. I'm going to move through some of this a little more speedier. But y'all, man, just be careful. When you've got your kids in a school, you don't know the teachers. You don't know anything about how they're going to act toward your children. One lady recently put one of those, what do you call them, the little spy cameras in her child's, I'm thinking she put it in her coat or backpack or something, and videoed, I've got it up on my wall as well, videoed the abuse that teacher was doing to her. So this one's not the only bad teacher in the world, believe me. There's a lot more. And I'll be posting every one I ever see. I will be sharing them all to let y'all know what's going on with your children when you're at work, at your job, home sleeping, whatever, and your child is in school. What if this was your child? What would you do, seriously, if this was your child? I know what I'd do. I'm not going to say it on here, but I definitely know what I would do. But if you'll notice, everything she's lied and said that she did not do to this child is in this report, verified by several school teachers, proving the fact that she did harm this child. And another one, like I said, 5 days separately. This was actually, I think this report contains mostly about the abuse on that one child, but it also has stuff in there, letting you know that the reason that they let her go from that other school prior to I think it was prior to that, when she was screaming at that student. She said the student threw a toy, okay, this is what she says, and hit another child. Well, that's not what this report says. Read the report, people. He did throw a toy. that other child, the one she screamed at, he did throw a toy, but he didn't hit anyone with the toy. See, she lied on just about everything she's ever said. Just about everything she's ever said. Every time anything comes out of her mouth, it's a lie, people. It's a lie. Because that's what she does. She lies. She lies. Yeah, if you do decide to watch the whole video, I mean, if you've got children, I suggest you do. You know, if you don't have children in a public school or anything, you might want to refer the video over to family, friends, neighbors, and anybody that does have children in a public school. Because like I said, this is not the only teacher in the world that's doing this. Many of them do it. They still are doing it. Comes out in the newspapers on a daily basis. Like I said, and this was all posted in a newspaper article. And we're only on page 43, folks. We still got quite a bit more to go. So get your popcorn, get your coffee, get whatever you're wanting to drink. But just please don't take your eyes off of this, because anything that you ever thought could be done to a child, it was done to a child. Believe me. You would never suspect in your wildest dreams the things a school teacher, a grown-up adult, would do to a child. I mean, it was honestly I just flipped out. I went, oh my God, how can this happen? How can they even hire people in these schools that do children this way? Y'all have got to realize this is not a good thing. This is not a good thing. Not at all. Page 47 now, people. We're getting there. We've only got 34 more pages to go. So you all can see all the details of this entire altercation. You can see the details of everything that was done, everything that wasn't done, the testifying of the other teachers that were there. It's bad. It's just bad, people. I mean, I know some of you are probably crying. You know, if I could hand you a tissue, I would right now. I would hand you a box full of them, because this is sad. Sad to see what a grown-up adult would do to a very small second grader. A second grader, people. Do you know how small a second grader is in comparison to a full-grown adult? It's not nice. I'm gonna try to skip through here. Like I said, if you miss any of it and you want to read the whole thing on the article yourself, you could go download the article. It's downloaded on. You can download it on Adobe or view it on any of your Office software you have. You're welcome to download it and view it any way you would like to see it. You can see nothing has been altered, nothing has been cut out, omitted, you know, nothing, not a bit of it. There's page 51. We'll get there in a minute. We'll get to the end of it. And I apologize for this being so long, but this is all public information that you all need to read and be aware of. Even though this wasn't maybe in your school system or your place where your children go to school, but you don't know. You don't know. Because they scare. Like I said, she kept bullying that child after he was trying to get into the line to go home. She was bullying him, trying to scare him. That's what they do. And then they'll scare him to where they're not going to tell anybody. You could have children in a school system somewhere being abused as well by a school teacher. But they're too afraid to say anything or turn them in because they're afraid of that teacher. They're afraid of what that teacher will do to them. I mean, all these other children just watched how she abused that little child. They watched this. Those children are scarred for life. Just the children that had to see it. They're scarred for life. They're scarred for life, people. And she brags that she still has a teacher's license and she can go get a teacher's job anywhere she wants. Would you want her teaching your children? I don't know how many of you are reading this or watching it or whatever, but you're more than welcome to leave a comment. The comments will be open. You'll be able to put comments out. And all I ask is, would you want this person to ever teach any of your children, any of your family members, any of your nieces, cousins, uncles, any of that? Would you want this type of person even in a school near a child? I wouldn't. Personally, I wouldn't. And that's all this is about today. This is about the abuse that grown-up, full-grown woman, a school teacher, abused an undersized second grader, special needs, that was very small for his size. I'm just trying to narrate this, the best I can. Like I said, it's mainly for your viewing purpose, for you to view it. Oh, Lord, 58. We got a long way to go. 16 more pages, people. Well, then we'll be done. I won't be boring you to death with too much more. If you're not interested in this, just click out, go away. Don't look, don't read it. If it's bothering you in any way, shape, or form mentally, please click out. Do not watch. Do not view it. If it's bothering you mentally in any way, shape, or form, do not view this. Because honestly, this is bad torture. This is torture. It's not just abuse, it's torture by a school teacher. I know some of you may have laptops or TVs that you could bring this up on and view it. You can see it a lot bigger and read it a lot better. And all you got to do is pause it. Just put the pause button while you read each page. If I'm going too fast for you, just pause it. But I just hope everybody understands that this goes on in the real world, people. This is no dream. This is no fantasy. This is not something you read in a book. This is really happening. This is really happening in the real world. I'm going to try to go a little faster through the rest of it. A lot of it, this I think is just the testimony. And this is the assistant principal's finding. I saw her, the way I described, manhandling a small student, very small student. He was special ed. He was maybe 1/3 her size. And she said it was just totally inappropriate. Excuse me, inappropriate. But I just wanted you to, I stayed there a little longer on that one because I wanted you to see it. Like I said, this is testimonies of the people and how they felt about it, you know. And so I'm going to be sending this on to some other people as well because I need to find out why she still has a teacher's license. I don't think this person should still maintain a teacher's license. So I'm going to share this to some other people besides YouTubers. And if you notice, doesn't have my name in here. Had nothing to do with me. I didn't have anything to do with it. I just want you to see, this is bad. Well, we're on page 67 now. We're getting there, people. We're almost getting to the 74 page mark. Let's go down and see here what's on page 69. Like I said, I think this is all testimony from all the teachers that witnessed. I don't think they took any testimony from the students because they're all, you know, small children. I mean, other than the student involved in the abuse. I'm sure they took that child's testimony. And by the way, the initials they're using in there, JW, is not his name. They've substituted that because it is a minor child. They're not putting his real name out there. Okay, I just wanted to specify that. Let you know that JW is not the child's real name. That's just what they're calling him in this article in order for his real name not to be released to the public. And he was being raised by his aunt, by the way. I don't recall, I'm sure it's back in this article somewhere, what happened to his mother. But he was being raised by his aunt, you know. And that's hard enough. The kid's already been through, you know, some type of a social abuse thing at home or whatever, being raised by an aunt, which is fine. I'm all glad that a family member would raise the child. That's great. And look, there's everything stamped and sealed. See the seals? Right there. And there's the notary. Notary, stamped and sealed. And that's it, folks. So you decide. You decide. You decide for yourself. And thank you all for watching and viewing my video.